ja siis mees ütles, et sa oled puutud nende uued Sesteri kooli juhatajatega ja õpetajatega kokku, et küsi, mis sest vanast koolimajast on saanud või mis sest saab. Seal ei olnud silti väljas ja seisis tühi kogu aeg. Ja ta ütles, et see on enampakkumisel müüa ja see aeg lõpeb, just olid viimased päevad või viimane nädal. No ja siis läkski see lahti kõik. Mehed käisid siin õues vaatamas, mees helistas Sepale ja Peekerile. Läksid taha õue vaatama, seal on ju suur plats. Keegi ei teadnud, et seal nii suur plats oli. Ja siis hakkasid vaatama ja uurima ja kutsuti jälle juhatus kokku ja kes need seal juhatuses ja need asjamehed kõik olid. Vaatasid, ma ei seganud ennast sinna sisse. Ma ei käinud ühelgi koosolekul ega midagi, aga mees oli ihu ja hingega seal juures. Ja siis oligi, et rahad olid Mertoni platsi all kinni, et mis teha, pole raha. Siis otsustati, et miks meid inimeste käest laenu võtta nii kauaks, kui Mertoni plats müüdud on. Seda ei tehtigi. Ja inimesed annetasid, laenasid hea meelega. Raha tuli lubadusi rohkem, kui vaja oli. Ja tehti pakkumine võeti vastu ja sellega oligi. Koolimaja oli Eesti majaks ostetud. Kõik olid hea meelega aitamas ja tegemas, kõigil oli hea meel, et nüüd on Eesti maja. Ja siis oli juba niimoodi, et eestlastel oli niisugune nagu tung, et kokku saada. Paljud inimesed on ju üles kasvanud, sündinud ja üles kasvanud Eesti majaga. Ta on ju praegugi ikkagi veel Eesti süda.
Let's talk a little about history, where all the ideas come from. Yeah?
Okay, so I'm going to try and keep it short. One of the inspirations is an original sepia tone photograph from around 1905 of the Chester Hill School. It's sort of alone on the Chester Hill before there were many houses built around there. Chester Hill was also a place where you had one of the finest views towards the lake and towards the city across the Don Valley.
So in glory of that historical building, our concept is more like more, not less?
Yes, more, not less, comes from the idea that in order to finance this project, in order to create the kinds of activities and the synergies, and there have to be a lot of people using it. The revenue streams that have to be produced means we have to maximize the use of the building. So there's a 6-story height limit allowed for the entire site there, and the idea is to use this to its maximum potential. We're also stepping back the building at the top 2 floors so that it will seem smaller at the back. But this is the idea. More people there, more tenants, more businesses. There could be a conference center, there could be schools, there could be special schools, Montessori schools, etc. as tenants. That's the vision for the functionality of it, plus all of the existing functions that it has been providing as an Estonian house for the Estonian community in Toronto.
We have there some different functions, but let's start with pavilions. Where does the idea come from, and why are the pavilions so important of the whole proposal?
Okay, so the idea was to find a strategy for organizing and unifying the new things that will be built on the site, including integrating with what's existing there in old. So the first idea is that in front of the building we're going to create a very symmetrical glass box which has other materials as well, like brick. And this creates the first double height pavilion, the materiality of which is connected to the existing brick building. Then at the back of the building, we have at the very top a pavilion which is meant as a beacon, a lantern, which we might be talking about later, which is also a similar double height story glass box. So it's really about having pieces that are first one sees it once, later again echo each other like bookends on a bookshelf.
Okay, so we have lots of articulated places, but what about whole construction? And is it timber?
Now, this is a key element. These days, we're talking about timber technology as the ultimate technology. It is sustainable. It regrows. It can be produced very quickly. The office building part, office and conference center part, the new part to the back, and the constructions of the pavilion of the front will be made of glulam timber beams and columns. And we also like to use CLT, that's cross-laminated timber panels for floors that also have concrete on top with hopefully with hot water heating, radiant heating. And this kind of construction has become very popular lately. Canada's own Michael Green from Vancouver has become world famous for pioneering and designing wood-constructed office buildings, some quite tall. And he makes a very interesting comment about it in his TED Talk speech, which is that he asks, when was the last time you saw somebody in a building come up to a column and hug it? So he speaks about the warmth, the naturalness of wood. And he has seen this literally in one of his buildings. Somebody came up to a large column and hugged it. So this is the kind of environment we're trying to create, interior environment we want to create that will be very close to nature, and essentially it's a kind of very Estonian thing to do.